It's 6 o'clock on the West Coast, 9 a.m. on the East Coast. London, 2 p.m., 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Saudi Arabia. And in Malaysia, it's 1975. I'm Jay Sheldon, and I'm not wearing pants. Hello, everybody. Chaotic Robot, howdy doody. Good to see you. Nice to have you along for the ride. Wherever you may be, we're streaming live to Facebook. I'm Not Wearing Pants is the name of the page. Shh, do you hear that? Okay, Mohammed. We are also on YouTube, Jay Sheldon's YouTube channel. You can find us with this little logo over there. I think it either be might be my face. I don't know. You'll find it. And of course, twitch.tv. Neither do I. Good day to you all. Hello, friends. Oh, man, you are crazy, and I love it. All right. Hey, by the way, we always open up the show with the time across the world. In the U.S., do not forget, I know it's Sunday morning over there. Oh, no, it's Saturday morning. But I think, is it tonight or tomorrow night? You spring ahead. You set your clocks ahead. It's this crazy daylight savings time thing they put in back in the 70s to try and save when there was an energy crisis and petrol was in short supply. And so they put up, I think maybe it was even before that. Anyway, they started daylight savings time. And yeah, I think it's tonight too. I think so. I think tonight at like 2 a.m., it becomes 3 a.m. or 1 o'clock, it becomes 2 o'clock. Anyway, you put the way to remember it, they always taught us as kids, was you spring ahead and fall back. So in the spring, you put the clock ahead, spring ahead. And in the fall, you put the clock back, fall back. Easy way to remember. I don't have to deal with that because in Malaysia, it's always the same time, 1970 something. Actually, okay, it's 10:02 p.m. on Saturday night in Malaysia. Daylight saving time is garbage. Thank you. I think you're right, actually. And of course, if you live in the Northeast, where I'm from Connecticut originally, born and bred, and the hours, because it's up on the globe, the hours of daylight slowly shrink, and the days are shorter anyway. You fall back in the spring, you go back to regular, yeah, which is spring ahead. You set the clock ahead. So that's daylight savings time in a nutshell. How exciting. Now you're all up to date. You know how daylight savings time works. In case you are in some other part of the world where they don't do daylight savings time. What a day. Oh my God. I had the most insane busy day. Before I get to that, let me just thank streambeats.com. By the way, did you hear the music we were playing in the beginning? That particular track is probably gone by now, but let me crank it up a little bit underneath in the background. This is streambeats.com and their rock album. It's their newest. There is both a lyric version and an instrumental version, which is, I'm using the instrumental, of course. But incredible music. And Harris Heller, the Twitch.tv streamer and YouTube streamer and video producer, has put together this music. It is copyright free. You will not get a strike. So if you are a streamer and you're looking for great tunes in a variety, it's not all like this. It's not all the rock anthem type stuff, but this stuff is really kick-ass. It's nice. And it's all free, absolutely free, copyright free, and no cost to you. Streambeats.com. They don't pay me to say that. I just truly appreciate what Harris has done. So, feeling like Cliff this evening, eh? Yeah, you know what? In some small way, I always feel like Cliff. I do. Except for the broken nose part. I think it broke my nose. Oh, man. Okay, no matter where you may be watching us on what platform, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, make sure you subscribe, please. Subscribe. It is totally free. Just click the button and I think it's down here somewhere. And YouTube, I don't know, it's over on the side. And if you also click the bell, you'll get notified whenever we are live. And on Facebook, just like, share, like the page, not just the video. Also like I'm Not Wearing Pants, the page. And then you'll get notified too. Stream Beats #1 fan. Well, I don't think, maybe you are. Are you saying you are or I am? I am a big fan. I'm not their #1 fan, I'm sure, but I am a very big fan of now, Harris, by the way. I'll just give him more of a plug. He does the most incredible how-to videos on YouTube. I wish I knew exactly what his channel was. As a matter of fact, it'll probably pop under my subscriptions because he's always posting stuff. Let me just do a quick scroll through here and see if he has anything recently. Nope, not there. Okay, let's check under subscriptions and see. He's always posting stuff. It's odd that he doesn't come up having posted something like immediately. Oh, wow. Oh, that's just yes. You know what? I subscribe to too much crap. That's for damn sure. Unbelievable the amount of junk I have on my YouTube channel and the amount of subscriptions I have. And it is an eclectic mix of junk, I'm telling you. You know, it figures now that I'm looking for it, it's not coming up. So I'm gonna, there it is, Alpha Gaming. His YouTube channel is called Alpha Gaming. You want to check that out. Oh, yeah, history would work too. You're right. Thanks, Chaotic Robot, for keeping me, you know, slightly sane. But yeah, Alpha Gaming is the channel with Harris Heller, and he's got great tips, behind the scenes stuff, all kinds of, especially if you are a streamer or thinking about becoming a streamer, Mohamed, you might want to check out Alpha Gaming. Great advice, great comparison, unboxings, things like that. It's a very cool channel. All right, I think I have more than paid my dues to Harris tonight, so thank you, Harris. Let's see what else. Of course, coming up, Alice in Wonderland. We'll have that tonight. We might be a little short on the stream tonight. Got a few things going on, so we'll see. I do have a couple of politically incorrect Facebook things I want to talk about, and we'll do that in just a moment or two. I started to tell you about my day. Oh my God. I woke up at 5:30 this morning just because I always wake up at like 5:30 every morning. I've been doing that for the last few months, and I have no idea why. I used to get up when I did a morning radio show at 4:30 every morning, Monday through Friday. I was on the air by 5:30, and it was all off the cuff, kind of like what this show is. Nothing was produced. I didn't have a producer. It was all me. I hosted, I produced, everything. And honestly, I never prepared much of anything. I had a couple of services that would do jokes and things for me and some sound effects stuff. But that all just came out of here back in the good old days when I actually had a brain. And so I would wake up every morning at 4:30. I would be on the air by 5:30. I worked my regular music and jokes and laughing and all that goofy stuff, like a typical morning show, until 9. And then from 9 to 10, I did an open forum talk show. Hazel Lisa liked the stream. Thank you, Hazel. Great to see you here tonight. Thank you. And thank you again for the book. Truly appreciate it. Now that I can actually do that in person, good evening. And thank you again for that amazing book on Japanese samurai swords, katana, etc. So yeah, and then from 9 to 10, I would do an open forum talk show. Kind of like what I initially envisioned this would be, and hasn't turned out that way. It's kind of a monologue, but that's okay. You're on the stream too, and you're on the chat, so that's good. And speaking of which, I don't know if Missy Bean is out there watching tonight, or this morning for Missy, but she tried to call in with Skype here last time, and for some reason my Skype had a brain fart, and nothing would work. Well, I have tested it, and it works. So now, if you call me with Skype, we can get you on the air here, and you can talk about whatever it is you like to talk about. Completely open forum. Obviously, the usual rules apply. No threatening. Try and keep it fairly clean. Fairly, we're a semi-family friendly show. Yeah, the Skype troubles was a nightmare last time, but I have fixed it. So not only can you get your audio if you just call me on a landline or with Skype on your laptop or hand phone. If you want to use a landline or a cell phone or hand phone, you can call 1-8, it's a Connecticut number, 860-598-0987. The toll charges will apply if that's not a local call for you. It's a Connecticut number. And also you can just Skype in Jay Sheldon. If you look for that logo, that's the Jay Sheldon, because there are several out there. You can call in. You can call in with video if you want. Again, keep it clean. I'm not kidding. I can preview it here so I'll know what you're doing. Okay. All right. And we've actually had some calls. We had a call from Southern Cal. Missy tried to call in the other night, and sadly we couldn't get the call on. But now I promise you will make it, unless something else screws up, and that's entirely possible. You'll get on if you'd like to join me and talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about. All right, let's do some Facebook review, shall we? Let's start off with this. Oh man, why is it always what? There's an old saying, "The preacher's daughter." And that's just a hanging sentence, ... but you likely know what I mean. Pennsylvania church treasurer stole $150,000 in funds and spent it on porn. Now, yeah, okay, bad enough, but this is an article from RT. What RT said when they posted this is actually funnier than any comment I could make. So I want to read it to you. Question: how the hell do you spend $150K on the most abundant free resource right after oxygen? The treasurer apparently, at least he's alleged to have stolen 150 grand. The lonely man admitted to the state police that he embezzled, so he's admitted to it, over a 4-year period, and spent it making payments to Flirt for Free, a porno website that apparently is not as free as the name would like you to believe. According to him, he spent the money on the website as a way of helping people. Aw. But his pastime quickly turned into a full-blown addiction that spun out of control. Just like it says here. Bonk! I'm just going to leave that up for a second because it's too funny. Oh, yeah. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. All right, there's a very cool guy out there. He is a conservative, and I follow him because he posts some really cool stuff and some rather funny stuff. And this is him. Joel Patrick is the guy. You see what he's got here? He loves poking at liberals, as do I. But this is one of his posts from earlier today. A cup full of liberal tears. Said, starting off Friday with a full cup. Way to go, Joel. Check out Joel Patrick on Facebook, by the way. He's probably also on Twitter, if they haven't banned him yet, although that's entirely possible. But yeah, check out Joel on Twitter. It's he is a funny guy, and yeah, he's a conservative, black guy. That goes without saying, but doesn't matter. It's rather cool. And the other thing I wanted to pass along tonight, I got a lot of reaction. I got some emails about the post, the comments I made about people who want to be or try to be a voice talent. And I related it to also people who wanted to be an actor or an actress. And people would say, "Oh, I'm not handsome enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't look like Brad Pitt or whoever." Um, or in the voice business, I don't have a low monotonous, low melodic tone, and I can't reach all those big ballsy notes, and so I can't be a voiceover artist. Well, that's pretty much a buffalo sandwich. That's pretty much BS. And I found another fantastic example of what I was talking about, and that's that there have been so many successful, brilliant actors out there who were not terribly handsome, were not terribly pretty, voice talents who do not have a giant voice. That's just one style. But here's the guy. You gotta be probably as old as me, maybe 10 years younger or so, maybe in your 40s and up, and you will know who this is. Below 40, you might not. That's the guy. This is Jack Elam. Jack Elam sadly passed away in 2003. He was born in 1920. 100 years ago this month. Jack did the most amazing roles, including one of my, I know it's goofy to admit this, but one of my all-time favorite films, which is The Cannonball Run. Jack was in that as the proctologist. But Jack, in Westerns way back in the day, he played mostly bad guys. You can see he's got the goofy eyes. Hold on, let me just, there we go. He's got the goofy eyes, charming smile, receding hairline, and not the prettiest tool in the shed, but this man had the most amazing film career and television too. And like I said, it just goes to my point that you do not have to look like Tom Cruise to have a very successful career in acting. What matters is that you can act. What roles you get will somewhat be determined by perhaps what you look like, but the fact that you can act, Tom Cruise looking or not, is really what makes a difference. And Jack Elam, what a character, what a great actor, and a good example of exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm encouraging you, learn the craft of acting to the best of your abilities. Practice it. Do it as often as you can. And don't get hung up on what you look like. I will also tell you that sadly, in this country, that matters. It shouldn't, but what you look like does. Oh, he's not handsome enough. She's not pretty enough. You know what? Who cares? If they can act and they can do the role and they make it believable, that's what matters. That's what an audience will be attracted to. Like I said, welcome to 1975. All right, I got to get rid of these things here. Let's dump Joel Patrick, dump Jack, dump the porn guy. I still can't get over that. I still cannot get over that. 150. How do you spend $150,000? Never mind. Unbelievable. You know what? I just realized I got off on such a tangent. I didn't tell you about the day thing. Like what a day I had. Got up, it started at 5:30 this morning. Attractiveness traits can change. Talent does not. Bingo. Bing freaking go. Exactly. Thank you, Chaotic Robot. I'm going to get distracted again now. Stop it. I got up at 5:30 and then I got off on the radio tangent. I don't know why. I've been doing that for a few months now, a couple of months. I wake up every morning, 4:30, 5:30, and then I'm just awake. I can't get back to sleep. So, fine. Then about 7:30 or so, we woke up the whole household, including Miko, and we went and shot some basketball at our local park here in our taman, our garden. Um, they have a great fenced-in basketball court, so you can shoot some hoops, and Miko can chase a tennis ball off the leash, which she loves. And so there was that, and we did that for about an hour. Then we got back home. We realized that last weekend we forgot to give Miko a bath. Now, a dog doesn't need a bath every week, and in fact, it's not necessarily good for them. It depends on what kind of fur they have. Shiba Inus have a double fur. They've got this very fine, thin coat underneath and more loose hair on the top. So it's like a double coat. But the problem is because we live in Malaysia, it is always hot and sweaty here. So the vet recommended that we do give her a shower once a week. We usually like to do that in the morning. We don't do it at night because then she's not thoroughly dry, and by the time it's time for bed, excuse me. So Miko and showers are okay, but getting her into the shower, that's the challenge. Once she's in there, she's cool. She loves she's okay with the water. I won't say loves, that's an overstatement. But the weird thing is, when I water my bonsai trees every morning, she can't get enough of the water. She's playing in it. She's running through it, running. I have a nozzle that has a lot of water that comes out. Duh, but it's hard to describe. The trees need a lot of water, and they have to be watered every day unless it rains. So every time I'm watering, she runs through the water. She loves playing with it. So much so that I bought one of those little spinny fountain things that you hook up to the hose and it whips around and the water whips. And she loves that. She runs through it. She tries to bite the water. But try putting her in the shower. We don't have a bathtub. We actually use the shower. I get naked. Then I'm really not wearing pants. And jump in the shower with her. We have a raised shower basin so that she can be in there, and I sit on the edge and we get her all wet. She's okay with it, but you'd think the way she reacts to water when it's coming out of a hose or a sprinkler head, she would love it in there, but she's just okay. She'll put up with it. She realizes, okay, Dad's giving me a shower again. I gotta live with it. And then at some point towards the end, where I usually start to rinse her off, she does this weird thing where she freezes. She sticks her nose up and she absolutely stares straight ahead and freezes. And she won't move. Even if I try and move her head, it's like locked. And then I just have to rinse her off, and eventually I shut the water off and say, okay, all done. And eventually she starts doing the shaky thing. So it's really weird. I don't know why. Dogs are strange, and especially my dog. Our dog is weird. But anyway, that was the shower day. And then we decided to go to the dog park, back to Taman Desa Desa Park City Dog Park. And we had a great time, met lots of other dogs. She gets along with people and with other dogs. And the most adorable little baby Shiba Inu. I wish I'd gotten a picture. I didn't think to. But it was, she said it was about 2 months old. Now, frankly, I think that dog probably hasn't had all of its shots yet, and it's a little dangerous because Desa Park City has a lot of dogs. But okay, you take your chances, sadly. But this, oh my God, it reminded me of it because she looked exactly like what Miko used to look like. And it was amazing. She was this little tiny thing about that big, looked exactly like Miko when she was a baby. And apparently, and Miko loved it to death. They were like nose to nose, like giving each other kisses and stuff. So I think she realized she's a long lost cousin from some distant past. So that was fun. It was a blast. We always it is a good time at Desa Park City. And thank you to the management and the folks there for being so open-minded and making a place that people can actually go and enjoy the dogs. Okay, so remind you once again that you, Missy, if you're out there, you can give us a call. I promised you I would get this fixed, and I did. If you want to buzz in, but in about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to get into the next chapter of Alice in Wonderland. So if you want to call, call now. Operators are standing by. You know, I watched the show back because it helps to criticize. See what I do right, what I do wrong. It's one of the reasons I backed the camera off, because I realized I was so in your face before that it was a bit overwhelming. So, and in fact, I'm thinking, I just bought a new tripod today. I'm thinking to push this all back even a little further. Eventually, I'll be back here or something like that. But anyway, we'll see what works, whatever works. Also, I need your opinion about something. This other camera, this B cam over here, I have it off to the side, obviously, and I've got one that's just here straight on, and the other camera, which is over here. I was thinking, would it be cool? Would you like to see like behind the scenes? Like if I put it, oh, hold on. If I put it back here somewhere, looking down on what I'm doing? I don't know. You tell me. You watch the show. I have to watch the show. I'm looking at it here live on the monitor. But you all are out there. So tell me what you'd like. If you would prefer. I kind of like this over here. It's just kind of a change of angles and things. Just add some variety. But I thought, wouldn't that be cool? It might be kind of cool to stick a camera back here looking down on my laptop and monitors and everything else. I don't actually know that it would work that well because I have a ring light up here. I've got another one over here as a hair light, but I've got a ring light over here. So I don't know. Let me know. You want to send an email? Tell me your opinions about that. You can always email me, by the way. j@jsheldon.com is the email. I put that out there because we love to hear from you, and we have indeed heard from you. So thank you for that. Also, chaotic. I saw. Oh man, my brain. I forget now what it is, but I saw you came up with a really funny hashtag for your Twitter posts. Can you put that in the chat to remind me what it was? There's a new, because when we were doing The Wizard of Oz, it was lions and tigers and satellites or something like that. But because now we've moved on to Alice in Wonderland, you came up with a new hashtag. So if you would stick that in the I saw it on, let me just see. Oh, in No Pants Land. That's what it is. Okay, yeah. I saw that. It was funny. Yeah, hashtag in No Pants Land. INNOPANTSLAND. In No Pants Land. Because this is No Pants Land. Oh, man. Best hashtag ever. Excuse me. All right, another bit of coffee and on to Alice in Wonderland. Hold on a second. Oh my. Anyway, I started to say I was reviewing the show to see what I like, what I don't like, what to do differently, which is basically redo the whole show. But I realized when I sip my coffee, this microphone is so sensitive. You can hear it go, oh, oh, oh. It's disgusting. I need to... I need to find something else. Another way. I can't mute the mic every time I take a sip of coffee. But anyway, either live with it or we'll figure something out. All right, folks. It is time to move on. Wow, we blew away a half an hour for almost nothing. Talk about junk. All right, we're going to move on to Alice in Wonderland. We want to give credit where credit is due, and a big thank you to the Gutenberg Project. That's Gutenberg.org, Gutenberg.org. where you will find all kinds of public domain books. The classics are there, just about everything. It's amazing. Obviously, no new material and stuff like that, but you'll find all the classics, from the sublime to the ridiculous. They are all free in all kinds of formats, from ebooks, text files, Word docs, and yeah, you're right. I did see that with the bots that came in the other night. Thank you for mentioning that. I think I got them reported. Again, I don't have any mods. Eventually I will, I hope. But yeah. So in the meantime, I don't know why these bots continue to do it, because frankly, these days, nobody's that stupid that they would click on a link, or, it's really obvious what are bots and what are not. But anyway, so Alice in Wonderland is the name of the book from the Gutenberg Project. And Lewis Carroll, this is chapter 7 tonight. Here we go. It is... Sorry, I'm trying to follow along with Mohammed and Chaotic. It is A Mad Tea Party, the name of tonight's chapter. So let me just set this up. If I lose this, I'm going to be in trouble. Here we go. Okay, A Mad Tea Party, chapter 7, Alice in Wonderland. There was a table set out under a tree in front of the house, and the March Hare and the Hatter were having tea at it. A dormouse was sitting between them, fast asleep, and the other two were using it as a cushion, resting their elbows on it and talking over its head. Very uncomfortable for the dormouse, thought Alice, only as it's asleep, I suppose it doesn't mind. The table was a large one, but they were all three crowded together at one corner of it. No room, no room, they cried out when they saw Alice coming. There's plenty of room, Alice said indignantly, and she sat down in a large armchair at one end of the table. Have some wine, the March Hare said in an encouraging tone. Alice looked all around the table, but there was nothing on it but tea. I don't see any wine, she remarked. Oh, there isn't any, said the March Hare. Then it wasn't very civil of you to offer it, said Alice angrily. Well, it wasn't very civil of you to sit down without being invited, said the March Hare. I didn't know it was your table, said Alice. It's laid for a great many more than 3. Your hair wants cutting, said the Hatter. He'd been looking at Alice for some time with great curiosity, and this was his first speech. You should learn not to make personal remarks, Alice said with some severity. It's very rude. The Hatter opened his eyes very wide on hearing this, but all he said was, Why, is a raven like a writing desk? Come, we shall have some fun now, thought Alice. I'm glad they've began asking riddles. I believe I can guess that, she said aloud. Do you mean that you think you can find out the answer to it? Said the March Hare. Exactly so, said Alice. Then you should say what you mean, the March Hare went on. I do, Alice hastily replied. At least I mean what I say. That's the same thing, you know. Not the same thing a bit, said the Hatter. You might just as well say that I see what I eat is the same thing as I eat what I see. You might as well just say, added the March Hare, that I like what I get is the same thing as I get what I like. You might just as well see, added the Dormouse, who seemed to be talking in his sleep, that I breathe what I sleep is the same thing as I sleep when I breathe. It is the same thing with you, said the Hatter, and here the conversation dropped, and the party sat silent for a minute, while Alice thought over all she could remember about ravens and writing desks, which wasn't much. The Hatter was the first to break the silence. "What day of the month is it?" he said, turning to Alice. He'd taken out his watch from his pocket and was looking at it uneasily, shaking it every now and then and holding it to his ear. Alice considered a little and then said, "The 4th." "2 days wrong," sighed the Hatter. "I told you butter wouldn't suit the works," he added, looking angrily at the March Hare. "It was the best butter," the March Hare meekly replied. "Yes, but some crumbs might have gotten in as well," the Hatter grumbled. "You shouldn't have put it in with the bread knife." The March Hare took the watch and looked at it gloomily, and then he dipped it into his cup of tea, and he looked at it again. But he could think of nothing better to say than his first remark. It was the best butter, you know. Alice had been looking over his shoulder with some curiosity. "What a funny watch," she remarked. "It tells the day of the month. It doesn't tell what o'clock it is." "Oh, why should it?" muttered the Hatter. "Does your watch tell you what year it is?" "Well, of course not," Alice replied very readily. "That's because it stays the same year for such a long time together." "Which is just the case with mine," said the Hatter. Alice felt dreadfully puzzled. The Hatter remark seemed to have no sort of meaning in it, and yet it was certainly English. "I don't quite understand you," she said, as politely as she could. "Oh, the Dormouse is sleeping again," said the Hatter, and he poured a little hot tea on its nose. The Dormouse shook his head impatiently and said, without opening its eyes, of course, just what I was going to remark myself." "Have you guessed the riddle yet?" the Hatter said, turning to Alice again. No, I give up," Alice replied. "What's the answer?" "I haven't the slightest idea," said the Hatter. "Nor I," said the March Hare. Alice sighed wearily. "I think you might do something better with the time," she said, "than waste it on asking riddles that have no answers." "If you knew the time as well as I do," said the Hatter, "you wouldn't talk about wasting it. It's him." "I don't know what you mean," said Alice. "Of course you don't," the Hatter said, tossing his head contemptuously. "I dare say you never even spoke to time." "Perhaps not," Alice cautiously replied, "but I know I have to beat time when I learn music." "Ah, that accounts for it," said the Hatter. "He won't stand beating. Now, if you only kept on good terms with him, he'd do almost anything you like with the clock. For instance, suppose it were 9 o'clock in the morning. Just time to begin lessons. You'd only have to whisper a hint to time, and round goes the clock in a twinkling. 1:30, time for dinner." "I only wish it was," the March Hare said to itself in a whisper. "Well, that would be grand, certainly," said Alice thoughtfully, "but then I shouldn't be hungry for it, you know." "Well, not at first, perhaps," said the Hatter, "but you could keep it to 1:30 as long as you like." "Is that the way you manage?" Alice asked. The Hatter shook his head mournfully. "Not I," he replied. "We quarreled last March, just before he went mad, you know," pointing with his teaspoon at the March Hare. "It was at the great concert given by the Queen of Hearts, and I had to sing. 'Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at.' You know the song, perhaps?" "I've heard something like it," said Alice. "It goes on, you know," the Hatter continued, "in this way. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle." Here the Dormouse shook itself and began singing in its sleep. "Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle, twinkle," and it went on so long they had to pinch it to make it stop. Well, I'd hardly finished the first verse, said the Hatter, when the Queen jumped up and bawled out, "He's murdering the time! Off with his head!" "How dreadfully savage!" exclaimed Alice. And ever since that, the Hatter went on in a mournful tone, "He won't do a thing I asked." It's always 6 o'clock now. A bright idea came into Alice's head. "Is that the reason so many tea things are put out there?" she asked. "Oh, yes, that's it," said the Hatter with a sigh. It's always tea time, and we've no time to wash the things between whiles." "Then you keep moving round, I suppose?" said Alice. "Exactly so," said the Hatter, "as the things get used up." "But what happens when you come to the beginning again?" Alice ventured to ask. "Well, I suppose we change the subject," the March Hare interrupted, yawning. "I'm getting tired of this. I vote the young lady tells us a story." "I'm afraid I don't know one," said Alice, rather alarmed at the proposal. "Then the Dormouse shall," they both cried. "Wake up, Dormouse!" And they pinched it on both sides at once. The Dormouse slowly opened his eyes. "I wasn't asleep," he said in a hoarse, feeble voice. "I heard every word you fellows were saying." "Tell us a story," said the March Hare. "Oh, yes, please do," pleaded Alice. "And be quick about it," said the Hatter, "or you'll be asleep again before it's done." "Once upon a time, there were 3 little sisters," the Dormouse began in a great hurry, "and their names were Elise, Lacy, and Tilly, and they lived at the bottom of a well." "What did they live on?" said Alice, who always took a great interest in questions of eating and drinking. "They lived on treacle," said the Dormouse, after thinking a minute or two. "They couldn't have done that, you know," Alice gently remarked. "They'd have been ill." "So they were," said the Dormouse. "Very ill." Alice tried to fancy herself what such an extraordinary way of living would be like. But it puzzled her too much, and so she went on. "But why did they live at the bottom of a well?" "Take some more tea," said the March Hare to Alice very earnestly. "I've had nothing yet," Alice replied in an offended tone, "so I can't take more." "You mean you can't take less," said the Hatter. "It's very easy to take more than nothing." "Nobody asked your opinion," said Alice. "Who's making personal remarks now?" the Hatter asked triumphantly. Alice didn't quite know what to say to this, so she helped herself to some tea and bread and butter, and then turned to the Dormouse and repeated her question. Why did they live at the bottom of a well? The Dormouse again took a minute or two to think about it, and then said, "It was a treacle well." "There's no such thing," Alice was beginning very angrily, but the Hatter and the March Hare went, "Shh, shh," said the Dormouse sulkily remarked, "If you can't be civil, you'd better finish the story for yourself." "Oh, no, please go on," Alice said very humbly. "I won't interrupt again. I dare say there may be one." "One indeed," said the Dormouse indignantly. He consented to go on, and so these 3 little sisters, they were learning to draw, you know. "What did they draw?" said Alice, quite forgetting her promise. "Treacle," said the Dormouse, without considering it at all this time. "I want a clean cup," interrupted the Hatter. "Let's all move one place on." He moved on as he spoke, and the Dormouse followed him. The March Hare moved into the Dormouse place, and Alice, rather unwillingly, took the place of the March Hare. The Hatter was the only one who got any advantage from the change, and Alice was a good deal worse off than before. as the March Hare had just upset the milk jug onto his plate. Alice did not wish to offend the Dormouse again, so she began very cautiously. "But I don't understand. Where did they draw the treacle from?" "You can draw water out of a water well," said the Hatter, "so I should think you could draw treacle out of a treacle well, stupid." "But they were in the well," Alice said to the Dormouse, not choosing to notice this last remark. "Of course they were," said the Dormouse. "Well in." The answer was so confusing, poor Alice, she let the Dormouse go on for some time without interrupting it. "They were learning to draw," the Dormouse went on, yawning and rubbing his eyes because it was getting very sleepy. "And they drew all manner of things. Everything that begins with an M." "Why with an M?" said Alice. "Why not?" said the March Hare. Alice was silent. The Dormouse had closed his eyes by this time and was going off into a doze, but on being pinched by the Hatter, it woke up again with a little shriek and went on. "That begins with an M, such as mousetraps, and the moon, and memory, and muchness. You know, you say things are much of a muchness. Did you ever see such a thing as a drawing of a muchness?" "Really now, you ask me," said Alice, very much confused. "I don't think—" "Then you shouldn't talk," said the Hatter. This piece of rudeness was more than Alice could bear. She got up in great disgust and walked off. The Dormouse fell asleep instantly, and neither of the others took the least notice of her going, though she looked back once or twice, half hoping they would call after her. The last time she saw them, they were trying to put the Dormouse into the teapot. "At any rate, I'll never go there again," said Alice as she picked her way through the wood. "It is the stupidest tea party I was ever at in all my life." And just as she said this, she noticed one of the trees had a door leading right into it. "Oh, that's very curious," she thought, "but everything is curious today. I think I might as well go in at once." And in she went. Once more she found herself in a long hall, and close to the little glass table. "Well, now I'll manage better this time," she said to herself, and began by taking the little gold key and unlocking the door that led into the garden. Then she went to work nibbling at the mushroom. She had kept a piece of it in her pocket till she was about a foot high. Then she walked down a little passage, and then she found herself at last in the beautiful garden, among the bright flower beds and the cool fountains. And that's Chapter 7. Chapter 8, The Queen's Croquet Ground. Oh, that one's going to be fun. You know the Queen. Off with her head! That's coming up next time. Chapter 8, The Queen's Croquet Ground, on the next I'm Not Wearing Pants stream. Should be fun. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the book. Hope you enjoyed the chit-chat. And again, we will see you on Tuesday night. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. You want to send an email with comments, let me know. Also, let me know your opinion about my new camera angle, whether or not you think this camera should be back there looking down. I may try it once and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we'll go back. But yeah. Hashtag in no pants land on Twitter is the hashtag for some art. Ron Tay. I hope Alice is wearing a pair of Louboutins. Louboutins? Is that like Louis Vuitton with a... I don't know. Sorry, I don't know Louboutins. Maybe I should. Oh, man. Ron Tay, hello. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. Wow. Nice to have you along for the ride. Very cool. By the way, I saw your amazing baby kangaroo pictures on Facebook. That was so cool. What a treat. Spent some time with a kangaroo whisperer in the land down under and put some pictures up. That was amazing. What a great shot. It was very, very cool. All right. Guys, that's going to do it. We're going to wrap up the stream for tonight. Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you again on Tuesday night. Like, subscribe, share, comment. j@jsheldon.com is the email if you want to send us an email. There is a link right here on twitch.tv, which you can click and send us a donation if you'd like to help defray the cost of the stream. And on Facebook, you'll see a link up above the stream. You click on that, same thing. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you again for checking us out. I am going to sign out of here for now. Thank you again, and we will see you on Tuesday. I'm Jay Sheldon, and I'm not wearing pants. Good night. Yo.